Hello, brothers and sisters. This is your Christian psychologist, Dr. David Lombard. Today, I want to talk a little bit about an anxiety management technique that we refer to as grounding. Now, grounding is a wonderful technique for you to have within your toolkit of anxiety management techniques. I always encourage people to learn several different techniques because you'll use different ones at different times. If you're interested in learning some more about different anxiety management techniques, I will include a link here to this video to my 30-day free program on anxiety management techniques that you can download from my website. So what is grounding? Well, grounding is being present where you are. When you think about electrical grounding and being touched to the ground where you are, if you think about grounding in the sense of taking your shoes and socks off and your toes or feeling the grass and the ground, you're touching where you are as opposed to being someplace else. So why do we use a grounding technique? Well, often what happens with our anxiety or fear or worry is in our mind, we're someplace else. We're not actually thinking about where we are. We're thinking about something in the future, something that happened before that we're anxious about the aftermath of, or something that's upcoming that we think isn't going to go well. And by putting our mind with that focus, we're driving our anxiety up. And what grounding is a technique for us to take that focus back and get ourselves focused on the here and now where we are. Now, it's a pretty quick technique, a pretty easy one to learn to do and to master. So when we focus on grounding, we're going to focus on our senses and getting in connection with our senses and exactly where we are. So when we start with grounding, we start with the easiest one, was we start with sight. When you want to ground yourself to where you are, start looking and noticing what's around you. What do you see? What are the colors you see? What are the textures you see? Do you see things moving? Do you see things standing still? Again, we're not evaluating, we're not having thoughts about them, we are just noticing them, being aware. The next thing you might want to do is touch. Can you touch your desktop? Can you touch your chair and notice the texture of it? Maybe you keep something in your pocket, a stone, a bead, or something that you can take out, and you touch that, and the texture of that helps you, to get focused where you are. One of the things I do is I've got a small stone, a river rock, that I've kept with me for years and years as kind of my touchstone to help me stay present when I am not being grounded, when I am focusing elsewhere. I can reach into my pocket, touch that stone, and it helps me to say, okay, I've got to get refocused on where I am. So I use that sense of touch that way. Some people will then shift to the sense of taste, that helps them to get grounded. They may take a mint or a chewing gum or go get a fresh cup of coffee or focus on other tastes that are in their environment to again get them focused where they are as opposed to where their mind was a couple moments ago. Some people will then focus on smells, and they have great tools for that. People will keep candles around their office or at home, or in different places where they can just kind of go over to the candle, smell it. Don't even have to light it. You know, these candles are so fragrant, you don't even have to light them. And smelling it will help you to focus on the here and now. Some people may have flowers or bushes or perfumes, or different things. Some people use essential oils to just, again, smell that oil to bring them to the here and now as opposed to where their mind was. And then the last sense obviously is sound, and we'll listen to our environment, listen to what's going on. Some people may put on soft music or some background music or some kind of calming sounds that they like to hear to again help them get caught in the presence of where they are at the moment. So this grounding technique of saying, okay, I don't want to have my mind elsewhere, I'm going to get it here, and I'm going to use my senses, which are incredibly powerful, my sight, my touch, my taste, my smell, and then the things I hear. By doing that, in a short amount of time, I can get refocused here, and I'm no longer focused on what my anxiety thought was or worry was. So how do we get good at this? Well, we practice, just like with any other skill. So what I suggest is about 4 times a day, you take anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes to practice this technique. As you practice the technique and you go through these senses, your mind might wander. That's okay, just bring it back. It's your mind. You'll get better at this the more you practice it. And as you're focusing on each one of those senses, figure out what works best for you. Some people really do like having, like a stone works really well for me. People have other textures they like, other smells that they like that help them to be grounded. See what works best for you, and then work on making that technique that's easier and more accessible because you keep it with you or nearby. The more you practice it, the better you get at it, so you can use it when a bad situation comes up. The more you practice it, just the more relaxed you are. It's kind of like a preventive medicine thing. The more you're doing this, you're lowering your anxiety throughout the day as you practice this. Because again, as I'm focusing on these things, as I'm being grounded in the present, I'm grounding myself on pleasant things. I hope that this is going to be a useful technique to you. I've seen lots of clients do really well with this. I believe you can do well with this. I believe taking this tool and incorporating it in a toolkit of other anxiety management techniques, you can definitely begin to master your anxiety. Like I said earlier, if you want, go to my website. There's a link there to a free program, 30-day program that has some other techniques in it like this one. Download that, and hopefully that can get you started on a life of being able to control your anxiety in a wonderful way. As always, God bless and take care.